That's a few.
Chaz. Luke died in the hand gliding accident.
Oh, I come in here, you know, your mom, the Meatloaf.
There's cartoons in the background.
You still got it, you know.
You know what? I will have some meatloaf. Let's have some meatloaf. You want some? Yes. I knew you'd go. Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now!
Ball Magnets Podcast would love to thank this week's brand sponsor, Superboost, the next generation in performance hydration. Superboost is the only sports drink built by athletes for the next generation, formulated to boost performance and improve recovery. Superboost is packed with electrolytes, is low in sugar and calories, and an unbeatable taste across delicious flavors, including blueberry grape, strawberry watermelon, and my favorite, orange mango. Superboost is now available at stores including 7-Eleven, IGA, and more.
He's a superstar. He is an absolute superstar, Tom Mitchell. Cripps at the back. Cripps is too good. Yes! Oh, how good was that?
I mean, let's run it back a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, how did we meet? How did it even come about?
I don't know.
I'll tell you how it came about.
Have we started right now or not?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're on.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all,
You tell me how it came about.
well, this is my version, right?
Yeah.
So I got, end of 2020, got traded.
Yeah.
It was one of the great, it was an interesting day that day. I drove from Airlie Beach up to Port Douglas in one day.
How far is that?
For people that know, it's like a 9-hour drive. I reckon I took about 55 phone calls. Anyway.
As you were getting traded?
As I was getting traded and driving at the same time, had to stop over the road a few times.
Yeah.
Anyway, I ended up at Hawthorn at the end of that day, and then I got a text from you, I reckon, the day or two after, saying, "Hey mate, welcome to the club."
Yeah.
You know, just
That's pretty good of
the
me.
courtesi call.
Yeah, courtesy tick the box.
That was good. And then I rock up first day, and the first bloke I see is you, and then you introduced me to Renners, one of the greats.
Is that right? So Graham Renshaw was our property guy, probably the best man you'll ever meet in football. Used to sing songs for the boys after games. He's just one of the greats, Renners. I don't remember that.
Well, is
that how we met?
That was my version, I reckon, yeah.
That's how we met,
yeah.
so this idea could happen.
Yeah,
Prestige
exactly.
worldwide.
Investors, could be you.
Possibly you. What is your favourite? We're massive on movie quotes, and I think movie quotes are huge through footy clubs. There's normally about a group of 5 to 10 who thrive off of them. Every warm-up is just movie quotes flat out, and
Seriously.
Hawthorn was big, CJ was massive on it.
Me, you, Scrim, Ollie Hanrahan, Vale Ollie.
At
He was
Collingwood,
one of the greats.
Jamie Elliott loves his South Park. Darcy Cameron's always good for a quote. There's always a crew at every club.
Do you guys still do the warm-up lap at Collingwood?
Nah, it's a bit different. There's no warm-up lap, that's where
So
the
what
good
do
stuff
you do?
comes
You
out.
run out, you talk to the camera. It's like a
Yeah, what do we
question
do?
of the day to the camera.
Nah,
on
we
the socials,
still
and then-
still like muck around and talk a bit of shit, but it's not as specific as like just reeling movie quotes off like we used to.
Because I remember that we used to run out.
And it would just fluctuate. It'd be Step Brothers, Superbad, the other guys.
Wedding crashes.
Oh,
that's a few.
Chaz.
Ah,
when he
you
kicks
know,
the table,
Yeah.
Duke died in the hand gliding accident.
Oh, I come in here, you know, your mom, the Meatloaf.
There's cartoons in the background.
You still got it, you know.
Yeah. It's good shit.
Hey, I'm going.
Oh, yeah. That takes me back. They were good days, Hawthorn.
That was interesting how we used to. I don't know if anyone's gone out to Waverley Park lately to watch training, but
Or to go to Mars's fish and chip shop out there.
well, that's another one. Yeah, that was me having pesto, pasta, and chicken every day.
So you didn't love the feeds we had at the club,
Well,
very
you've,
grateful that we got
you've-
fed at the club.
You've
let's
got
be
the
honest.
feeds. You've got the feed now at Collingwood. Do you?
It's next level.
Yeah.
We're so lucky, like to be even get like fed as a part of it.
that's
Like
right.
very grateful. So don't get me wrong, Collingwood is unbelievable. Like the chefs, what they do is unbelievable. But you were also known for ducking down to the fish and chip shop and getting a chicken salad from down there, and then you'd come in with your little crate.
Correct. With one
You
other
and Ol.
bloke. Yeah.
And you used to have your own personalised little tab thing where it would flip from your turn to pay, which was built into the fish and chip shop.
It's still there. So there's actually a thing where it's got Tom Ollie, Tom/Ollie, and then it's got a little cat.
Who's shout? Is
and
it
it
next?
moves.
Yeah,
it
the
moves.
cat moves. That's right.
So it's still on Ol. He hasn't shouted for like a year. So
should we take him out and say, hey mate, like haven't seen you for ages, let's catch up. Why don't we go to the fish and chip shop and then get him to shout?
yeah, we're gonna have to get him across from Nottingham in England.
True.
Yeah. So but we will still do it.
We'll fly him back.
Yeah,
for
we'll
that.
teleport him back
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
That's good.
Because I have my, my stock standard fried Mars bar once a year as well.
Well,
So
that's always the last day of the year, isn't it?
that's
Of the footy
April
season.
26th.
How big are the
every
fried
year.
Mars bars?
Yeah,
Are they like a mini size or a
yeah.
proper?
It's like that.
How many calories is in that?
Oh, it's a calorie counter, and there's a few calorie counters.
That's probably one day's calories in one Mars bar.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
Fried Mars bars. There's a cookie box.
After every game, me and you were very well known for going down Glenfrey Road to Cookie Box and devouring a few
What's
calories.
your favourite cookie there? Is it the Fookie cookie?
No,
Or
it's
is it
the
Nutella?
standard one. I'm very boring vanilla when it comes to that.
it's just the
stock. What's the stock
classic?
standard? The classic.
The classic. Yeah.
So good. Two of them into a Yochi that night, no problems.
Yochi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Geez. We've had Stewie Harker, one of the greats.
Yeah. Stewie's on the board at Ball Magnets, running the show, and obviously he's helped you out with Superboost.
Absolutely.
What a great man.
And we have Stewie Harker Jr., who tell us a little bit about Stewie Harker Jr. He's always wanting to catch up at Yochi.
Yeah. So Stewie
you can't get a look in at the
Harker,
moment.
he's one of the best people I've ever met in business. He's worldwide leader in retail for the businesses he's worked in, and we're very lucky to have him on board. And he's just he's just across everything. Like he's helping with Ball Magnets. He's got Slip and Touch, these businesses and products that are absolutely thriving. And so we've got a mate of ours, Finn, who very business savvy. Likes to invest and be across different things.
Yeah.
So we're going to start calling him Stewie Harker Jr.
He finds himself everywhere. that
Yeah,
guy.
he does.
Grand
Where'd we see him?
final
We
after parties.
met him in Noosa.
Noosa.
He was randomly in the Collingwood change rooms after a game the other week. I said, how'd you get in here? He
Amazing
just
story.
Manoeuvre his ways through everything.
From Betty's Burgers on Hastings Street in Noosa all the way to Triple M.
Yeah.
It's just producer of the footy show.
I actually met him there's another one. I met him when I did the footy show for the first time. It's not a show anymore, obviously, but Eddie Maguire, obviously, you sit in a room, it's Shane Crawford, Eddie Maguire, and they take you through, this is the run sheet. And then there was some other guy. I'm like, who's that guy?
It was,
And that was him. He just pops up everywhere.
Hi.
Hi. He just pops up everywhere. It's a
Hey, I
pop-up
want you to
sprinkler.
sing for us. You're going to sing good.
So that's a super bad one.
Like a bird. Yeah.
When
We're talking about Superbad and Scottsdale, Arizona. How did we end up in the back of a car
Yeah.
karaokeing to the Brisbane Lions theme song? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
so-
quite amazing.
So what scene is that in Superbad when he goes, he thinks Evan is a singer, and Evan comes in the room with these guys and they're like...
Well, he's already in there, and then the guys rush in, right? And I don't know, they're doing all sorts of stuff in there.
And then they say, who's that guy? And then he goes, oh, he's the singer. My brother...
It's Jimmy's brother,
It's
the
Jimmy's
singer.
brother, yeah. And then he goes,
Yeah.
Evan's like, no, I'm not singing, I'm not a singer. He goes, so what you're telling me is my brother here has travelled all the way from Scottsdale, Arizona to sing for us, and you're not going to sing? Sorry. He's travelled all that way to listen to you sing, and you're not going to sing. And so we were in Phoenix in the break, actually. Remember?
Yeah.
And we'd heard that Scottsdale was unreal, but we're like, we more have to go to Scottsdale because that's where it's mentioned in Superbad.
Yeah.
And we did.
got a
And you
photo
got a
under the
photo
sign.
with the Scottsdale sign, which is pretty rare areas from
Yeah.
us.
That was pretty like that. I don't know if many of the viewers have been to Scottsdale, Arizona.
What about that as a
But
place?
it's pretty loud. It's almost full on. It was
So
almost...
it's like, I picture it like a more advanced version of Bali or Thailand when there's a strip of nightclubs, probably like bars and nightclubs, probably like, I don't know. It's like an L shape, isn't it? It's probably
Yeah, it
like,
is.
It's probably
Yeah,
like
what is it?
100 metres?
Yeah.
Just all bars, clubs that absolutely pump. Scottsdale is like a renowned college town for that, like big sort of party town.
Yeah, and we had that. But actually, my favourite bit was not even going out into the bars or anything. It was actually having that chicken salad thing that we had on the corner.
We
What was
get the Uber. Well, initially, we booked
Chucky's
the wrong
Chicken or something like
accommodation
that.
because we're like, we want to stay near Scottsdale because we knew that'd be a good place to go. We stayed in Phoenix, opposite the basketball centre. We were going to meet Jock Landau, hopefully. Played for Phoenix at the time. Anyway, so yeah, it would be an Uber in to Scottsdale to the chicken salad bar, have a chicken salad, then pop out for a few drinks after.
Good. And then we ended up in the taxi singing the Brisbane Lions theme song.
There
cool.
was karaoke. In the back of the cars over there had karaoke in the back of the car, like big vans.
Do
with
we have
karaoke.
to pay an extra? I think
so, yeah.
Maybe
but then
we
there
tip
was a
the
song.
driver.
I think your Spotify account was connected to the car, and the Brisbane theme song came on.
Yeah, that was.
It might have been because we met Dan McStay earlier in the trip.
And then you went to Collingwood a week later.
Oh yeah, weird how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Geez, we met some different people on that trip. Hungarians reading newspapers, like all sorts of weird operators. I mean, but yeah, I like going back to the footy stuff, and like every club, right? I mean, there's different cliques, different groups, but Hawthorn that year and 2021 to 22, like there was a great group of guys and still is.
Yeah, well,
down there.
You think about footy clubs, I kind of associate it with similar to high school. Like everyone's kind of friends, but there's groups. Like there's always the first years. So there's 6 of the first years, and they just hang out with each other. Then there's like I guess the dads, and they sort of bond around kids.
Who were the dads?
At Collingwood?
Oh yeah, not Essendon, Hawthorn, Collingwood.
Well, we had less guys with kids, so probably Ben McAvoy was probably the only one. But
not even the dads, like the ones that acted like dads as well.
Pup.
Yeah.
Punky. Nah, but like ripping guys. But
Pup,
like
Macca.
Yeah, those guys. The dads at Collingwood would be Howie, Steele, Pendles. I'm sure there's other guys.
Steele can be a big kid though.
Yeah, well exactly. Yeah. Like it doesn't mean anything. It just but there's always there's a few groups, and like even within the middle age range, there's like normally a few groups.
Yeah.
But Sydney was different in that regard because everyone in Sydney at the Swans comes from different states, so you're all kind of relying on each other, and you're all each other's mates. Like you don't know anyone outside of footy. Whereas I guess at teams in Melbourne, you got your mates, your footy mates, and you got your mates outside.
Was Sydney? Were you more like your seriousness in the football environment and landscape?
Yeah.
Has it changed and evolved through the 3 clubs?
I think so. I think so. Like I've always been diligent with preparation and like giving myself the best chance to perform, and a lot of people know that about me. And I think as the years have gone on, I realised that I haven't had to be as serious. Like people that know me now, like you would know, me at Hawthorn and me at Collingwood, like I'm probably one of the guys that like has the most fun around the club and like has a laugh, and like when it's like game time and like it's training mode, I'm on, and then around that it's just like enjoying it and having a great time doing it. So I've definitely gone on a bit of a journey, as they say.
Yeah.
A journey on that and a discovery journey, because a lot of players have been like that. Like I've chatted to Pendles about that. Like he was probably more like that, and he's one of the most relaxed guys. Has a great time.
It's that evolution piece.
Correct.
For you, I think.
Correct.
Has transpired. I mean, I still remember that infamous meeting around. It was probably around this time, probably 2 years ago, where we were.
I think I know where this is going.
Hawks were going through. We'd had a few losses. Ben McAvoy, great captain, great player, got out the front, and we had, the values up on the board, which were epitomised the Hawthorn Footy Club, which was great.
So like a trademark, like every club sort of has a trademark.
Yeah, everyone's got a trademark, and he was knocking on, especially the connection and different things, and he would throw to the audience and the boys out in the seats, and he went to Pup, what is it what do you think it is, what does it mean for you, and me and you were sitting directly behind Pup, so I'd sit next to you.
Pup is Liam Shields, by the way.
Yeah, I'd sit next to you and Sean Burgoyne in every meeting.
Shawnee was there.
Yeah, Shawnee.
Who was next to me? Oh, Macca was, but he was up the front talking.
Yeah. And Pup said, Mac, I think it's that connection piece that we're after, that we're all after, sort of thing. And
that was the start of something special.
That was the start of, this
phenomenon.
Yeah. What do they call it?
And people probably think,
COVID was a bit
referring to the
epidemic.
trademark itself, and what was it? We're referring to the word peace being thrown on the end of every single sentence.
Doozers. So there's not just at the end of every sentence, but through the sentence.
Mixed in the sentence. So for example, you'd go to a yoga class at the club, and it'd be, guys, this is just that well-being piece. Mm-hmm. And then you'd go into a mids line meeting. Boys, this clip, it's just that work rate piece. and everything had a piece thrown on the end of it. We just figured out that why is this filler word? Why is this word just being thrown on the end of everything?
Yeah.
Connection piece is a staple. That was
almost the start.
Connection piece gets thrown around. If you listen to any AFL media, coach press conference, anything, connection piece gets said more than anything. Not even just connection. Why couldn't you just say, "Oh, it's just our connection"? No, it's that connection piece that we're after.
Yeah, apparently there was something that Ben Crowe has a little bit to answer for in this space with the piece, because apparently there was a connection piece program that he ran throughout some of the elite sporting environments.
Yeah, I just think it's a word that people use to try and sound really smart, because it does sound quite smart. Like if I just said, what you ask me what am I doing today? Go ask me.
What are you doing today?
Oh, just a bit of a podcast piece. Yeah, a few pieces to camera. Just that personal development piece outside of footy. That's what I'm working on.
See?
Does that sound smart?
Yeah, I mean, it is now, transcended through different conversations outside of the sporting environment.
Mate,
I was on Zoom.
It's bigger than COVID. COVID was big, right? Like that was contagious. That went through the world, sadly. And sadly,
still going through the world.
Yeah, well, whether it be sadly or like just something we picked up on early, I think we're the first to pick up on it. The pace has just grown so much legs, to the point where we haven't spoken about this for a long time. We had kind of like a Brownlow medal night. We had at Hawthorn, we had an MVP award called the MVPs Awards, where we had everyone who thought this was hilarious, which was pretty much everyone, rate their top 3 pieces for the year. So like, it'd be like connection piece, 1 vote. Remember some of them were just ridiculous. Upstairs
induction piece, the piece around Nashi and the Borders, piece around Fionn.
You got to elaborate, because people listening to this are going to have no idea what you're talking about. So
there were some individuals. There
was a piece being thrown on the end of anything. So for example, would be, Nashi couldn't get back from Ireland to Australia to get back to training in time.
Connor Nash,
yeah. And so a few of the staff were saying, it's that piece around Nashi not getting back to training in time. Piece around Nashi being blocked by the Borders. But wouldn't it just be, Nashi can't get back to training? What's this piece?
Guys, make sure you fill in your whereabouts piece. Guys, there's a legacy piece around this.
Guys, we've got the parents in the program today. Make sure you make them feel welcome. Make sure you say hello. The new players at the club. We're actually going to have a bit of an upstairs induction piece for them. And, the upper part of the club.
Education piece was big. I mean, that's.
I think I've got a list in my phone of everything.
We're going to have to get that out.
Every piece that was dropped. Is it in my notes? It should be in my
Yeah,
notes.
go have a look at your notes. Because we went up to Noosa with about a dozen.
Well, here you go. We've got 2 groups.
Some of the committee members.
2 groups I've just looked up. We've got Troy Makepeace is one of the groups.
Yeah.
And Noosa Piece, which was obviously when we were in Noosa doing the MVPs Awards.
Yeah. The greatest thing about that group is that we've got one of the head physio. We've got one of the physios.
I'm not sure if that's on.
There was the farmer and the sheep piece.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So it got pretty outrageous.
Walking through windows.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a cool trip in itself. A lot of pieces. I mean, there's
now that listeners. Now that you've heard the piece, listen to how often you're going to hear it. Adam Simpson from West Coast loves them. Every press conference, it's great.
Nick Rewalt.
Yeah.
Loves them.
It's all AFL media and journalists.
Yeah, Fox Footy, massive on the pieces.
It feels like we're on the couch right now.
Yeah.
Well, this is
you've entered the inner sanctum of the lads.
Yeah, so correct. Correct. I was going to ask you a more serious one when we were chatting about footy earlier. So 2018, right? That was probably you were.
There's a funny stat.
I just remembered it. The most possessions ever in an AFL season to not get a vote in the Brownlow, which was like close to 700.
Your old man Barry is also part of that stat as well.
He's a part of that. He was actually favourite for the Brownlow medal, didn't poll. He was under $2 favourite for the Brownlow in 1991, didn't get a vote.
I was favourite for the Brownlow up until about round 11 that year. just in my head. No one else thought so, but I thought so.
Well, I remember you dominating that year. You're averaging like close to 30 touches a game on a wing, playing great football. Dad, actually, funny story before we get back to you, I think it was 48 and 3, didn't get a vote, which is great. But I remember
who was umpiring that day?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Beetlejuice and Hasbulla.
Yeah, I think them too.
Shout out to Lester if he's listening.
He was a boundary umpire. Hey, it is what it is, guys. Oh shit. Yeah. So I actually went to 2018 grading
Yeah.
because I didn't really know you then, but I remember you had a great year. And when we found that stat out, I was like, because even grand final in the finals, you were playing great footy. But well done on that stat. That's impressive.
It is.
Not everyone could do that.
No, I don't reckon
It's hard to do. It's hard to average close to 30, have 700 possessions in a season, not pole. So
Not pole. Thanks,
congrats,
mate.
man. That's
Cheers.
great record
Yeah.
to have.
And kicking a goal whilst being unconscious. That was the other one.
So you got knocked
Yeah.
out, don't remember this, and went back, had a set shot. So you're on autopilot.
No,
you kicked the goal.
I got knocked out as I've kicked the goal. I've been slung tackled into Chris Mayne's knee,
Yeah.
and the ball's dribbled through for a goal.
How good's that? And you don't remember that? Did you run off the ground after?
I ran off the ground,
Yeah.
played the next week, so now I'd be out for
Yeah.
1 or 2
Did they know
weeks.
you were? Yeah.
Played the next week,
Yeah.
and they were the best. That was the best month of footy I played from that concussion. Yeah.
Just goes against everything they're trying to say. That
Yeah.
concussion piece.
How about that? Yeah, there is a piece around that.
Yeah. God.
I mean, how are you feeling now, sort of being in this new environment, and like, you know, it seems like the timing of things and where you've come across to with Collingwood.
I just feel
Like, how's the environment at the moment?
so
right now,
lucky.
boys?
Like, you know, we would talk a lot about our time at Hawthorn, and like, obviously, you know, things weren't panning out. With yourself and myself, and we sort of had a feeling that, you know, we weren't at our happiest, and so that's why I'm so wrapped for you with what you're doing with Superboost. Like, to find something that you're passionate about and that's absolutely thriving the business world is a credit to you, because so many players out there don't have something outside of football to go to, and you got the business savvy mind to have all this going for you on the outside, which is awesome. But in terms of Collingwood, like, I'm just grateful to be there. Like, it's really brought the enjoyment back to, you know, when you're a kid growing up playing footy, why you love it, being around your mates, a real happiness and enjoyment. And I think that's just a credit to the culture that Fly's created and all the players as well. Like, I remember first getting to the club, how welcoming everyone was, and, you know, you could argue that every place is welcoming, but it was on another level, and just how valued you feel for, you know, what you can bring to the team and the club, and they make everyone feel that way. And I think that's why everyone loves coming to work. Like, we've got a group of us in, you know, it's not called Troy Makepeace, but there's a few little groups in the club, the text groups, and we literally get excited about coming in the next day. We're like, how good is tomorrow morning going to be? Just literally to sit around and train hard, train our asses off, but then just like being around each other. And I haven't been in an environment like this before.
Mate, how good's that? Because
so
you get some sporting environments that it's just the absolute opposite.
Oh,
like,
it's
you haven't
walking around
won
on
games.
eggshells, and it's not enjoyable, but, you know, we understand it's a ruthless industry, and so there's going to be ebbs and flows and all of that, but I just feel grateful would be the word to be where I'm at, and loving footy, and haven't loved it like this for a while, but just very lucky.
And do you think it's like part of that's just understanding the characters and the personalities of, you know, the individual guys, right, and just celebrating all the differences that are in there, and being able to cater for
like
so many different groups?
I think like with Fly, for example, like people don't know, but he was a development coach at Collingwood. I think he got asked to move on, and then did a long apprenticeship, went to assistant coach at Richmond, assistant coach at Hawthorn when we were there, and then head coach at Collingwood. So I feel like his journey, obviously he coached VFL a lot at Richmond as well, like he's been able to associate himself with the guys that are not in the senior team, and he can relate to everyone because he knows how tough it is when you're not playing AFL every week, you're playing the VFL, you're not where you want to be. And I think that's just given him great empathy and sympathy and care for everyone in the playing group. And the staff as well, like, makes everyone feel valued, and he'll mention out and shout out everyone that's doing a great job, because we can't do what we do without them. But I think he's just got such great empathy and you know, relating to the guys who are on the fringe or not in the team at the moment, and still bringing them along for the ride and making them feel valued. So it's a credit to him.
He seems like he's able to zoom out and really sort of sit behind everything and look at what's ahead and what's in front.
Correct.
Like, I think you get a lot of leaders, a lot of people, not just in footy, but business, different industries. They sit at the front and they're all, you know, guns blazing, which is fine. But sometimes that ability to have that emotional intelligence, manage people, and try and understand you know, how to get the best out of them individually, but then not forgetting that, hey, the guy's on the fringe. And like, we've both had times where we've been on the fringe, we've been in the teams, played good footy, and like, the ebbs and flows of how that can be, walking into the club every day, the energy levels, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like it's to have a head coach that actually still cares when you're going really well compared to when you're not, and they don't fluctuate in what
it's genuine when
how they treat you.
You know, it's genuine with him. Like he cares about more about you as a person than as a player. Like he wants happy players, and he thinks happy players produces performance. So I think that's accurate. I think it's a pretty simple way of thinking, but he's definitely onto something. He's doing a great job with what he values, and we love him as our coach. He's an unbelievable fly, and even just the way he carries himself to the fans, like he's always engaging, bringing us along to do it. Like he sets the example for the whole club. So just very happy would be the word. Right back to your question, and I was keen to ask you when we were chatting about your footy throughout 2018, because you guys played in the granny that year against West Coast. I remember being at that game watching, and you had a big lead early. How did the season go that year? Like, were you guys? Because I heard something at the club the other day. It was like early in the season you were like 7-5 maybe.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you were flying, but then must have hit your straps late.
No, it's interesting, man. Like I'll go a little bit back to the end of 2017. Like we won that last game against Melbourne, round 23, and we hadn't had a great season. We finished 13th, and Richmond finished 13th the season before and won the 2017 flag.
Yeah. So I actually played in that round 23 game in 2016 for the Swans, and we beat Richmond by 100 and something points. The next year I won the premiership. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So like that, we won that game against Melbourne, and
Johnny's nodding. He's a Tigers man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Johnny. He's producing these podcasts. He's been a legend for us.
G-Bone. Where's my protege?
Yeah.
Where's G?
Funerals, man. We've got to start taking you to funerals.
Jeremy and John Ryan. Yeah.
Is that Wedding Crashers? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, round 23, we won that game, and we stopped Melbourne getting in the finals. And that was just, and we weren't going to make finals, but we were like, you know what, like that performance, you know, that was Josh Dacos early on the scene, kicked 2 or 3 that game, like, started, like that was probably his best game he'd played. And you started to see, okay, there's some good signs with this team if they could put it together and mesh. And then, you know, the after party, the best and fairest, I was chatting with a guy that was in the digital team, Luke Mason, shout out to Lukey, and we spoke about, mate, I said to him, mate, this time next year we're gonna win the premiership. Like, and we, you know, Richmond were 13th, they've won it, we've ended up 13th, you know, this year. I reckon we can win it next year in 2018. He's like, I hope we're at this bar the same time next year, celebrating the win.
Almost were.
And we were 5 points off it.
Tough pill to swallow, wasn't
it? But yeah, 2018 we didn't, you know, we started to wind it up and play really well towards the end of that season. That final series, obviously, Mason Quocks, the Quocksman.
Took over a prelim, didn't he?
Yeah, kicks 4 in the prelim and had a very good final series. That period of time was great. I mean, 2019 too, we lost to GWS.
I was also at that game.
That was
You were favourites. Toby Green was out.
Mate.
In the wet. You were storming home.
Storming home. We started
6 goals down at 3 goal time, or 5?
Yeah, we started really averagely and had to come back, and we did, but just ran out of time, and then they lose in that grand final by 86 points or whatever it was, something like that to Richmond. I was like, oh jeez. And I was in New Zealand with Coxie. Turned the TV on for 5 minutes. I didn't want to watch it.
Yeah, the
turned it on and saw they were getting smashed, and just was threw something at the wall. I think
it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
2016, played in the granny as well. We were favourites against the Dogs.
I mean, that was just a fairy tale time for the Dogs, wasn't it?
Oh, like I thought.
That final
series. I remember
series.
watching the prelim. So when Bulldogs beat GWS, because we felt our biggest threat that year was the Giants. Like they'd beaten us in the qualifying final a few weeks earlier, and they had our measure. Oh, we might have beaten them throughout the year, but when the Bulldogs won, we're like, oh, whether it played a factor or not, like we're like, oh, we would rather have played the Bulldogs than the Giants. So yeah, like we went into the granny probably favourites. Yeah, I don't know. We didn't get the job done. Yeah.
Weird.
And it was close. It was less than a goal also. Like that game was a lot closer than it looks on paper. I think it might have ended up being 15 points or something, but it was less than a goal with around 5 minutes to go. Buddy rolled his ankle that day. Like a few little things didn't go away, but
How did you go? You kicked a few goals.
Went all right that day.
Yeah.
Kicked a couple.
Yeah.
Kicked a couple.
I remember you telling me about it, doing a coastal walk in Portugal, Lagos.
We
talking
got
about your
deep
career a
for
little
that
bit.
walk. Didn't we? Yeah.
Massive cliffs.
Yeah, that was a
Beautiful
Lagos
spot.
Well, how flattening is it at the moment when you open your Instagram and everyone's in Europe? I'm like, this is not.
What's going on there?
Everyone's there.
The cost of living's going up, inflation, and everyone's able to get off to Europe. You know? Like,
Mangasaurus is
people
over
are finding money under rocks these days.
there. Yeah, I know.
Do you have any money under rocks?
No, I wish.
Yeah.
You?
Let me know when you find some.
I'll go looking for it.
The
Give me that
Nankasaurus.
whereabouts piece.
Yeah.
Whereabouts of the money piece.
Where?
Johnny's loving it.
Yeah. Where do you think the off season's going to take you this year?
Well,
what do you reckon?
so America, Austin, Texas. You've got the Longhorns shirt on right now.
USA.
So we'll get over there again. You'll play a role.
Play a role. Role's a big one as well.
Well,
isn't it?
playing role is just one of the most common things ever said in the footy
Nathan
club.
Buckley said that.
Just play role.
Flat out.
Play role. So you'll be playing a role in America and Austin. You'll be there with me, I'm telling you. We'll have a good crew like usual, and we'll go through the Longhorns. We like to do that. Barton Springs, Austin City Limits is always good fun. And then we'll hopefully get up to OKC, Oklahoma City. Obviously,
good.
Josh Kiddey there with Ball Magnets Connection. We'll do some cool stuff with him there. They've got some good players. SGA, obviously, Chet, Holmgren. So we'll hopefully do some cool stuff with them. So I guess a business component. We came to try Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
Nashville chicken.
Yeah. Yeah. Nashville's renowned for like country music, which is different, but that's probably one place in America we haven't been. That'll be cool. Wouldn't mind doing a little Bali trip.
Have you been
I
to
really want
Bali?
to go to Brazil
Yeah. Have you been to Bali?
once, but I was young.
Yeah.
You've been to Bali.
A lot of people have the wrong sort of idea, I reckon, around Bali. Like, it's actually quite it's just like, you go there and just drink. And
Yeah.
You just,
There's stuff to do.
That's one component, but like there are, I've been to Bali a few times now. There's some really good spots down there. Like just to actually chill, like health, wellness, fitness.
Good gyms there too.
Beautiful scenery and environment.
Yeah.
Like lovely people as well. Yeah.
And you managed to do a business, part, I guess, leisure trip when you're in the middle of Finn's Beach Club.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I went to Singapore for a few days. That was
Yeah.
for a global fitness, health and wellness
Yeah.
conference. That was good.
Yeah.
Meeting a lot of industry experts
Yeah.
and really good people
Yeah.
in the space. And then went to Bali for the weekend. That was nice. Still,
Why wouldn't you?
Still doing a fair bit of work on the laptop, but enjoying the sun
Correct.
as well. The
Correct.
heat. And the beach. So
Yeah.
that was good. Finn's is a good spot. Saw Mason
Coxie was
Cox
there.
as well.
Yeah. So what about South America?
But yeah, South America. I mean,
I think there's a piece around that.
I think there is a piece around it. I mean, it was a little bit of a family travel piece a few years ago for me. Back 2011.
Where would you? So I've heard Rio's awesome. Brazil, Colombia, Peru is meant to be awesome.
Peru's good.
You been to Peru?
Went to Sacred Valley, and then all the different sort of world-renowned sites around there. Ecuador's quite cool. It's very
Argentina.
Yeah,
That would be good.
Very-
It's just so big, South America.
Very
Like,
mountainous.
It's kind of like you'd have to do, like you couldn't do all of it, like in one go. Or you could maybe if you did like a 10-week trip, but off season's limited time.
Yeah, Brazil would be good. Yeah, I think Argentina, Brazil. I mean, all the countries speak, I'm pretty sure, Spanish except for Brazil. It's Portuguese.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that. Central America would be cool. I hear so many sort of weird stories from Central America.
Yeah.
There's a few hairy stories.
Yeah.
People getting into trouble. Everything takes a little bit longer over there.
Is the Bahamas like above South America?
Bahamas is just off the coast of Miami.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Florida.
we've been close enough.
Yeah.
We've been to Miami.
Basically stayed in Bahamas. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Fire Festival. Met everyone from
That doco.
Yeah, remember
Was
that?
Bahamas?
Yeah, it's Bahamas. Yeah.
That didn't go well.
I'm pretty sure it's Bahamas.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great pace, mate. I reckon we better wrap this podcast piece up. But
Hey, it's been a good one for the lads, isn't it?
it's been good.
It's been a good.
Could we get a start of something? Should we request that feedback piece from the audience and see what they reckon? We'll make this a regular,
I think it is that
Ball
feedback.
Magnets Superboost collab.
That's a feedback piece around the lads on the couch.
Yeah.
And you know what? It'll be good when we get more people through the doors to sit down with the lads, have good conversation, and just see where.
Even
it sort
girls
of
that can be the
flows.
lads, they can be the lads.
Yeah, the girls,
We're
the
welcoming
boys, the
everyone.
lads. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a
I
non-exclusivity
like this setting. This
piece.
is very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like it? The lighting's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. The setting piece is elite.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the Nelk boys are going to watch your game on the weekend.
Nelk boys, they're in town.
They might get an invite onto this.
Podcast. Their podcast is next level. So they've had. I listened to the one with Donald Trump last night. Pretty much the most, 10 most influential people you could think of. They're on their Full Send podcast, and they're coming to the Collingwood game this weekend against Freo. So we're hopefully getting along to the game and hopefully meet them after. It'd be cool.
Jeez.
Maybe get them on.
Yeah.
They're in the hot seat.
I think they need to. Yeah, we might need a few more seats, but
Get the couch out.
we'll make it work. We'll squeeze them in.
Good chat. Good chat.
Great piece, mate. All right.
Great piece.